over Gauhog. Stoecker came up from the back. Time to bring you our athletic trivia question. Today's question: who are the 3 players that have scored a hat trick in the WUSA's inaugural season? We'll have the answer later on in the show. French with that throw in. Baumgardt looks. Milbrett comes back for the ball. Out wide. Now to Pearman. Again, we have Tiffany Milbrett Mike today. We will try to give you some of that audio later on. New York will switch. Well done. Stretching out that defense out to Whalen. Not wide enough. Now they go wider to Janss. She's trying to lead it for Milbrett. Milbrett wisely held up. You were talking about conserving energy. You've got to know at some point, don't go for a ball like that.
Right, and I've mentioned it earlier in the game, a bit critical of the fact that they've got her back in the midfield. If I was New York and she's the player that's scoring the goals for them, I'd let her be that lone front runner up top when they're in the 4-5-1 scenario. And go ahead and find her, because Milbrett's not the type of player like, what would be a great example of a front runner that's real fit, or even like a Fowdy in the midfield who can run all day. If they're requiring her to run all day in the midfield, she's going to be really tired when she gets those fine chances to score in front of the net.
22nd minute. Washington with Carrie Moore on the ball. Milburn with her back to goal. Emmy Barr out of Santa Clara to Michelle French. Cut off by New York. Fettig. Now it's Emily Janss. Nice turn just to receive that ball by Milbrett. Lalor looks up for Pearman, right between a couple of defenders. That ball a little bit behind Tammy. Giving it back. Quick shot taken, though, went wide by Milbrett, but it looked like a promising play had that ball been led to Tammy Pearman. Today's WUSA Game of the Week is coming to you from the US Naval Academy. We're in Annapolis, Maryland. Big game for the New York Power. Win or a draw gets them into the playoffs. As we said earlier, they control their own destiny. They've been led by that lady all year long, Tiffany Milbrett. Can she do it again? Baumgardt with a nice chip. Ham will run after this. Had to wait a step. Here's Mia with a low shot. Oh, it didn't miss by too much. The finesse of Mia Ham nearly resulted in the game's first goal.
Well, Ham is the player that's playing on the edge of her restraining line for DC, and she gets in and just tries to slot it with a nice finish to that far post. She's so dangerous. Take a look here. Look at her taking this ball down here. She's got pressure on her. And she just tries to take a nice shot to that far post. Gauhog had it covered. Good chance, though, for DC.
Sarah Whalen holding. Well, much like last week, DC giving a good account of themselves here early on. No pressure, though, on them. Espeseth. Going to the right side, Janss. The cutback, Lalor. Long ball from Espeseth. Mullinix changed her mind about coming out. Milbrett now will get it wide of the box. Going inside the 18. Nice ball back, quick touch. A diving Mullinix save. And Nielsen was pushing up. Nice ball back from Milbrett.
Very nice. She looked up. She knew that she didn't have a shot from that angle. That's an impossible angle to score from for most people. So she looked, and she had a great trailing run by Nielsen at the top of the box.
Good job, Justi!
Whalen on the chase. Fettig. And that ball is knocked out of play. Look at the throw-in coming up for the New York Power. Whalen will take it. She was playing so well as a right midfielder, but had to be pushed back to the defensive core when Pierce went down with that tough injury.
Of course, we've seen her with the U.S. national team at various positions, but I remember a lot of times that she played out of that defensive, on the right side in a defensive stance. So she's comfortable there, and obviously wants to try and fill some shoes in Kristy Pierce's absence. That was a big blow to New York for Pierce to tear her ACL.
Sarah Whalen can play anywhere. Used to be a sweeper in college and then a striker as well, and a good goal scorer in college too. Whalen's only missed the one game this year. We're in the 25th minute. Scoreless. New York and Washington. Coming up to the left side, here is Lalor on the far side. We'll make it fair. Looking. Pearman will chase it down. And it's going to be knocked out. Throw-in coming up in the far wing. New York hitting offensive third in the 26th minute.
Tickets are available through Ticketmaster or by calling 1-800 US or Navy.
Lalor holds. And Lalor trying to split two. That's broken up. Washington knocking it. It'll stay in play. And Washington with 5G will play it upfield. Nielsen helped to win that ball. No foul was called. New York looking to turn. Milbrett leads Pearman, but it's going to be too far. The goal kick coming up for Mullinix. We talked before about Sarah Whalen's versatility. Who knows better than one of her teammates? We chatted with Fettig yesterday.
Because Sarah's such a versatile player, and just listening to her, it sounds like her whole life she's been shifted between defense and forward. In college, I think she was a defender to begin with, and then when we played against UConn our senior year in the Final Four, she was up top. So I think she's had a look, you know, everywhere, and she's such a wonderful player in whatever position you put her in.
Good testimony to Sarah Whalen from teammate Fettig. We've got a free kick coming up for the Washington Freedom. And they'll move it up the middle. Long ball towards Michelle French, and the offside flag goes up on the Freedom. So New York's ball, 27th minute, still scoreless from Annapolis. French with 3 assists in the last couple of games. New York looking for some leadership here out of the midfield. And so far, hasn't happened. Back to Mullinix.
Well, and one of those players that they've been relying on this latter part of the season in that role is Espeseth. She got moved up from the defense because she was actually in trouble from a fouling standpoint. She's a very physical player. She admits that when you ask her about her style of play. So now she's playmaking out of the midfield and isn't getting into quite as much trouble from a yellow card standpoint.
All the way back it goes to Siri Mullinix, who will hold. Sky a little on the right. Here is Washington moving it up. We have Washington's head coach, Jim Gabar, with us on headset. Coach, we probably know what Pat Farmer's telling his team before the game because they have to win or draw, but what are you telling your players with nothing at stake, but you still want them to go out on a high note?
Well, we were telling them that you were saying that exact thing, that we had nothing to play for and we were relaxed, and it should be the opposite, that, you know, it's a chance for us to go out and perform in front of a crowd and, you know, kind of play the spoiler role, but you don't want to put too much emphasis on the spoiler role because I don't think that's a very good motivator. You want to go out on a positive note and kind of get rewarded for the way we've been playing.
Stay with us, Jim. We've got a New York throw-in. Sarah Whalen will settle it, pushing it forward, looking for Espeseth. Settled by Janss. That's going to be knocked out of play. Jim, you've been proud of your team's effort this year. What are some of the positives that you can take out of this inaugural season for the Washington Freedom?
Well, I think, you know, we've got an awful lot out of Jen Grubb and Lindsay Stacker. They've been very reliable for us, and you know, I really like the way we possess the ball and the chances that we've created in games. I'm most unhappy with the fact that we can't convert a lot of those chances, and then we tend to give up soft goals through inexperience in the back.
Thanks, Coach, for joining us. This ball is cleared away. We've got a Freedom player down. We may see a lot of that today with this intense heat. Various sides coming over to make sure that Jen Grubb's okay. Grubb has played every minute of every game this year. Same with Lindsay Stacker. 30th minute. New York and Washington scoreless. Solid year for Jennifer Grubb. Drafted very late. Wasn't sure she was going to be playing in the WUSA. Otherwise, she would have been picked sooner.
I thought those were some great points that Coach Cabrera made. You know, from a positive standpoint, he's been pleased with the possession on his team, but you know, he pointed out an interesting fact: lack of experience in the back line. I mean, you got Stoecker, who's a great player. She's got some youth around her. He's tried some various players back there, and you know, even with Carrie Moore getting a start today over Cromwell, still trying to look at some different changes. But you got to figure one of his players that he's going to be looking for in the draft will be a really solid defender to team up with Stoecker.
This one going deep and knocked out a play. Last touch by Carrie Moore, so New York has a throw-in. And Gros Espeseth will come over to take it. So back up for a little momentum with his throw. And Pearman got to that, it looked like, and just headed it out. Goal kick for the Freedom. 31st minute. Washington put it back in play. I'm sure New York was hoping for an early goal, get a little confidence going, get a little rhythm going. They haven't had that. The good thing, though, for New York, they haven't given one up either. A couple of bounces to Ham. Milbrett with her speed, but it's picked off by Whalen. Right side, Janss. Emily Janss out of the University of Maryland, so a local product. Now it's touched over to Pearman from Lalor. Tammy Pearman will have a go at goal, but it's wide of the target. New York has been a tale of two different teams, Wendy. The goals in terms of the first half, goals in the second half, they really struggle on the defensive side especially.
From the standpoint of giving up late goals, yeah, look there, 75+ minutes, they've given up 11 goals of their 18, and that's been in the latter part of the season, and some of those goals have led to losses. So, you know, they're lacking a focus in the late part of the game.
Still, having said that, they're the third best defensive team in the league, but at one time they were right up there closer to Atlanta.
Well, you remember early on in the season, nobody could score on Galhone.
From that far side, push back to Fair, and out it goes. Belongs to Washington. Okay. 33rd minute without a goal from Annapolis. A weak clearance off Whelchel. Knotted down, not in a good spot. Milbrett, nice flick, right sideline. Ham is over. Nice ball through the legs and the nutmeg, but New York will get it back, and Whelchel will clear. But another giveaway. Here's Scott Little avoided a tough challenge. The advantage call, the proper Lemaire, inside and over the bar.
Well, Milbrett is a great target for DC in the box. We saw her score a beautiful goal against Atlanta last weekend. She's got great height, and she goes after it. We'll take a look here from the end zone camera. Great ball across. Look at that ball right on the head of Milbrett, and she tries to get it down. The problem is she's just a little bit far out. But nice opportunity again by DC.
Throwing from the far sideline off a New York deflection. French and Ham together. Ham on the turn. Nice ball. Baumgardt waited, pulled it back on the left foot. Sweet move. Too far for Ham. Cleared away by the New York Power. Well, if you're Washington, you've got to like this because, in effect, Milbrett is not in the game.
Well, like I said at the beginning of the show, dropping her back into the midfield, it plays into, I mean, it does not play into New York's strengths. I think their strength is having her up top. Now, it looks like right now she's gone ahead and pushed up. Maybe they've changed them around a bit. We'll have to keep our eye on it. But you're right, JP, early on. Having her in the midfield is not dangerous. She's not that type of playmaker. She needs to be up top, as high as she can be, and playing on the edge of the restraining line.
Baumgardt. Ham on the nice turn. Whelchel stayed with her. Mia comes back, fights for the ball, won it, and then lost it in the end, but through the foul. Another free kick for the Washington Freedom. '35th minute. New York and Washington scoreless. Mia Ham with 6 goals on the year. Getting ready.
The interesting thing about this distance is it's sort of an in-between distance. You could serve it far post or try and chip it in, you know, for someone else to finish. It's just a little bit out of her striking range, but anything about 5-10 yards farther in, we've seen her score a number of goals from that distance this year.
Here's Espeseth playing it up for Lalor. Out wide, fair. And the ball is going to be pushed out of play. Washington will have a throw-in. Freedom will take it from the far side. Nearly 35 minutes gone in the scoreless first half. New York will get it. Whelchel's clearance. Another giveaway from New York's standpoint. Milbrett showing nicely for the ball, and then a quick turn. Nice lead pass on the right side. French and Baiji have switched sides now. It's French on the right wing. Looking to cross with the left foot. Whalen looked like she lost her balance as she wanted to get her head of that ball. It goes out of play. This Thursday, witness the drama as the season's final major returns to TNT. See Tiger Woods in the 2001 PGA Championship starting this Thursday, 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific, only on TNT.
It's interesting to point out, actually hats off, first of all, should compliment Baumgardt and Baiji for making those runs in the box. They busted for about 30 or 40 yards to get in the box. Unfortunately, Michelle French is more of a left-sided player. She decided to pull that ball back to set up her left foot, and I think that gave New York just the amount of time they needed to get the extra defenders back into the box to make that defensive play.
Mullinix from Moore.
The other thing I wanted to point out is that Baiji and French have switched sides, and part of that might be a fitness standpoint. We heard early on that Baiji is struggling a bit. Apparently a hydration issue. She drinks just hot tea, if you can imagine that. Does that not make you hotter than we already are?
I can't imagine that.
But in this type of heat and humidity, you gotta hydrate, and so I think they probably switched French over to the right side to cover New York's attack out of the left side. That's the side with French and Nielsen. I mean with Fair and Nielsen that they're coming down.
Janss in the middle. We'll push it back. 37th minute. Fettig to Whalen. Here's Fettig setting it long. Headed up once by Washington, a second time by Grubb. And on the touchback there, New York will get it back. Fettig to Espeseth. Oh, she's got room. The bench was telling her to go. Milbrett back to Espeseth. Intended for Pearman. And it's played all the way back to Mullinix, 38th minute. New York has sort of been their own worst enemy today with all these unforced errors, the giveaways.
I totally agree with you, JP, and they're not sharp. I think this heat's really getting to them.
Turning is Baumgardt, no one on her. Baumgardt advancing about 10 yards, nice cutback. The lead pass, and Ham was actually picked off by Whelchel.
Ham is instructing, that's a nice ball by Baumgardt. Actually,
Yep.
Ham was hoping that Milbrett was playing that higher role behind her to continue to make the run.
Espeseth pulls it back. Lalor feeling some pressure behind her, and Fair had already gone up. The ball goes back the other way. Whelchel across the way. Fettig. Moving pass intended for Pearman.
Danny, nice serve.
Headed out by Barr.
Good luck there now. Good way to mix it up.
New York with a throw-in from Pearman. Tiffany Milbrett looking, feeding it slightly behind Lalor, who'll lift it up for Nielsen. Cleared away, and New York comes away again without a shot. Milbrett, Grubb, quick release. Ham was trying to split two defenders. Fair and Gauhong communicating, or maybe not. Gauhong will play it over. I think they were on the same page, but Fair didn't give her a good ball back. They certainly had time to communicate.
Gal was laughing there. I think she's maybe a nervous laugh, saying, "Whoo, glad I got away with that one," with Ham breathing down my neck.
Emily Janss. Milbrett was open. We've got a handball on Kerry Moore. Free kick New York. 40th minute. Fettig takes the walk over. Fettig on the strike. Going inside. The header went wide of the target. Wide of Siri Mullinix. Espeseth, one of the targets on any set piece. New York's got to find a way to get Milbrett into the game, though. A 5-game goal-scoring streak ended last weekend when they were shut out by Bay Area. They could have clinched the playoff spot then. They could do it today with a win or a draw. This one is cleared back the other way and out. The throw-in coming up. New York with it, holding. Lalor's pass, flex out. Another throw-in coming up. The WUSA and TNT is brought to you by Aromax, the official laundry detergent of the WUSA and active women everywhere. And by Aflac, without it, no insurance is complete. Whalen got a piece, but not all. Baumgardt, Ham, tackled away. Whelchel sticking in and winning it. 41st minute. New York looking for a quick break. They had Milbrett up the middle, but the ball went the other way.
Chippy, I think Milbrett is exhausted. I think just with this heat, it may have been, you know, we'll have to follow it and see what happens, but I think having her in the midfield, of course, here she goes on the attack. I'll finish my point in a second.
This ball coming across, and Mullinix will stop it.
I think having her in the midfield has exhausted her. I mean, all the players are playing a little bit, they just look tired, and I know it's because of the heat and humidity.
Look out below, Milbrett and Gao Hong, who couldn't handle the ball there. Gao got enough of it with her foot to avert the danger. We're going to foul anyway, apparently on Milbrett.
And I think it was the slide. She probably went in cleats up.
That would have been disaster for New York to give one up late in the first half.
Take a look. Actually, that's just after the play there, but you could just barely see Milbrett coming in, and she slid in. JP, I think she slid in cleats up, and when they're gonna play that advantage to the goalkeeper.
They usually do try to give the goalkeeper some protection. Lalor will push it wide. Ronnie Fair. Whelchel. Lalor's touchback. Nielsen. Good idea on the switch. Whalen controlled it, played it up right side to Pearman. Tammy Pearman running at the defense of Emmy Barr. Barr staying with her. Pearman, nice recovery from Barr. Just when it looked like Pearman got the jump. And the second corner kick coming up for New York.
Hey, Pretinha fans, please turn your attention to our video board. How about a big freedom cheer for Carrie Birch, our small fry of the game.
43rd minute.
Great opportunity late in this first half. Some of the players to keep your eye on are going to be coming from this position back here, making some runs into the box. One of those players will be Espeseth, as well as Kristy Whelchel, number 2 on white. And Pearman's going to be making a more of a near post run.
Fettig played it back short corner. They've worked on this in practice. Whalen will play it across. Touched over Espeseth with a shot. Espeseth with a goal! It may have taken a deflection. New York has scored. They take the lead.
That's what I was trying to draw, JP. The fact that Espeseth, you know, was just trying to hang out at the top of the box. Just
good one. Good one.
Yeah. Sometimes patience pays off, and that's what the deal was there with Espeseth. Ball goes into the box. I'm sorry, short corner, but watch the ball when it goes into the box. Here's Espeseth. She's playing in this spot out here. Keep an eye on it. She backs up, positions herself, one-touch ball. There, freeze it right there as she goes, and she's going to shoot for this far post, and that's the only way you can beat Mullinix on this great shot far post. Another look at it here. It's Gro Espeseth who holds her positioning, and Janss sets her up there. This is going to be a great angle. And actually, it looked like Milbrett was in a key position to shield Siri Mullinix there.
How about Gro Espeseth's first goal in the WUSA? Had 1 assist earlier. That's one of the short corners that they worked on in practice, but it was designed to find Espeseth actually at the back post, some of them. That worked out a little different. This ball cleared away, but New York gets a big strike before the half ends. Here's Whalen, right side. Pushing it up. Milbrett. Giving it up to Whalen on the right. Whalen with a little time. Then across, Mullinix changed her mind and almost paid a price and still might. Nielsen will catch up to it. Laid back, that's Ronnie Fair holding. Striking it off the right foot, and that one just got away. 45th minute. Well, New York have done well when they score the game's first goal. They've not been a good come-from-behind team, but when they score first, could be trouble.
Well, if they can combine that with holding on tight for the last few minutes of the game, if it's still 1-0, then they should come away with the win.
Mullinix will clear. Washington after it. They'll play it wide of IG. Switched over by Moore. Sky Little is there, but that'll do it. First half will come to a close as New York has a 1-goal lead over the Washington Freedom. And that is the lady we'll be chatting with at halftime. We'll be talking with Mia Hamm. We'll have the Wendy's. I'm looking forward to that one myself. Plus, first half highlights when we come back to Annapolis. The Power lead it 1-0 over the Freedom.
For any woman who's ever suffered from a yeast infection, relief can't come soon enough. We hear you. Introducing a new Monistat 3 combination pack with a separate cream that starts to relieve the burning itch immediately.
Had another tough landing on it. How's it doing?
It hurts. I think it'll be okay. I think I just tore some scar tissue because I heard a pop, so.
Wow. Is that the same shoulder that you hurt earlier?
Yeah, and that's how I heard it, so.
Wow.
But I'll be okay, JP.
We're going to have you do something not so strenuous. You've got your AOL mobile communicator. We'll get the question and answer from you.
All right, Steve from Ohio wants to know what is the lowest score that I've shot in golf. And
be honest.
Yeah, if Wendy Gebauer is keeping score, I shot a 67.
Wow. 67?
No, it's 76 is my lowest score.
76. Thanks, Mia. Take care of the shoulder.
Thanks, guys.
Oh, that's an understatement, isn't it? About Mia Hamm. She is the best in the game offensively, although Tiffany Milbrett is trying to outdo her this season. We're coming back. New York leads at the half.
You were off. Yeah, you saw my rebound? Okay, hotshot. Now you got to
Bay Area. Offensive Player of the Year goes to Charmaine Hooper, and really kind of a late pick because of her 5 goals in the last 2 games, which allowed Atlanta to have the first place position in the league. And she's just tough to deal with. Defensive Player of the Year, Doris Fitchen of Philly. The most impressive thing here is look at the record for Philly when she's not on the field. European Championships took her away as well as an injury, and some of her physical play we get to see here, and she just loves to play make out of the back, a great leader. Goalkeeper of the Year has to go to Lakeisha Bean of the Bay Area. Leads the WUSA in saves and shutouts, and she has a consecutive shutout streak, which I believe may never be broken. Just a great season for Lakeisha Bean. And MVP has to go to Tiffany Milbrett. She has led her team, the New York Power, in goals and assists, and also leads the league, and she's just had a fantastic year, and we're seeing some of that magic today.
Some good choices, partner. Well, Milbrett hasn't scored today, but her teammate girl Espeseth has. Will it be enough? New York Power need a win or a draw to make it to the playoffs. We're up at the half.
If you thought 2020 vision was perfect, ask your eye care professional about the AccuView 2 contact lens. 7 out of 10 who wear it see better than 2020. AccuView, advancing the science of sight.
With an ordinary ultrathin, leak is a 4-letter word. Ooh. Stay Free introduces the only ultrathin with 4-wall protection against leaks. 4 letters meet 4 walls. Bye, new Stay Free ultrathin.
Nobody understands your passion to play like Sports Illustrated for Women magazine. Whether you're trying to make the team or just staying fit, SI for Women is what you want. Heroes, inspiration, nutrition, training, and great gear. Now there's a special offer for WUSA fans. Call now to get a free preview issue and be your best on and off the field. Sports Illustrated for Women. Call 1-800-ALL-STAR.
I'm your Venus, I'm your fire, your desire.
Introducing Venus from Gillette, the first razor designed to make you feel like a goddess. Protective cushions surround 3 blades for the closest shave ever in just 1 stroke. So close, your skin stays smoother longer. And that's something all goddesses are entitled to. Now, individually sealed blades are easy to store, easy to change. Venus, reveal the goddess in you.
Matt, they just came out with this flavor, dude. It's pretty sick. That's what gas to be on. I got this like mango, like crazy. Sorry, dude.
How many times have I told you guys about sitting on cars?
Oh, we weren't sitting on it. We were just leaning on it.
Call me a liar?
No, no.
Hey, don't worry about it. It's cool. Are you calling me a liar?
No, your lights are on.
Let's break!
X Games begins August 18th on ABC.
For 20 years, Personal Shield has provided you with safe, effective force fields. That's thanks in part to the voice, data, and internet services of LightPath. You see, back in 2001, our research costs were staggering. Fortunately, LightPath's fiber optic network saved us nearly 30% on telecommunications. And that has helped us develop the superior force fields we've all come to rely on. Thanks, LightPath.
Welcome back, everyone, to our WUSA Game of the Week. Great campus. We're on campus of the US Naval Academy for this game between the New York Power and the Washington Freedom. Earlier, we told you we had Tiffany Milbrett. Mike, let's listen. Here comes the goal coming up that New York scored. Watch grow Espeseth. Put everything into that shot, beating Siri Mullinix. A nice screen. Tiffany Milbrett didn't score there, but she was one of the cheerleaders. Hope you enjoyed Turf Talk, and hope we get some more from Tiffany Milbrett later on. New York leads 1-0. Freedom trailing 1-0 against the New York Power on this hot summer day. And how about a little love this
we're
summer?
getting some love, aren't we?
We are touched. Thank you very much. We enjoyed this season. It's not over. We still have the playoffs, but it's been a fun year in this inaugural season of the WUSA. So New York now. First time that they have led against Washington this year at the half. You know, we told you New York had to win or draw, and that's not too easy because Washington's beat them already twice this year.
Yeah, Washington has figured out what it took, and we'll have to see in the second half if they can figure that out as well. Yeah, they're doing a good job. They're taking it to them.
Maybe some good news for New York. Baiji is out. Makinen is in. I say that because Baiji has scored 5 goals this year, 3 against New York, 2 of them game winners, and both late. So at least they don't have to worry about Baiji. But that problem you were talking about before with the hydration may have come into effect. Somebody's
got to get her to start drinking some water.
Yeah. We didn't know that until yesterday. Jim Gabarra shared that with us.
She'd be shocked at how good she'd feel.
So, New York with another 45 minutes in what has to be the most important game all season. So Makinen is in for Baiji. She doesn't play the same position, so we'll see how Washington changes things. Makinen, more than attacking midfielder, could also play in that defensive midfielder spot. Nielsen. New York staying status quo for now. Here's Tiffany Milbrett running it to the byline, and it goes on a play. Now New York with a lead. We'll see how they play it. I mean, with these conditions, they've got the winning road record when they're up at half. It's when they're trailing that they have some problems. But in this intense heat, they've got to try to keep the pressure on while at the same time conserving some energy.
Yeah, they got to play smart, and they got to let the ball do a lot of the work for them. Because you got a wide field as well as high heat and humidity. The heat index is unbelievable down on the field. But the key is if you spread it wide, then play the ball to feet. Let the ball do a lot of work for you, as opposed to always leading people into space, because there's no way you can go for 90 minutes with that type of style.
And New York appears to have changed the formation a bit with a 4-4-2 now instead of the lone striker.
And we should point out that Milbrett is one of the players that's playing up high. And I think that's smart for New York. She's going to cause DC some problems playing up in that position. We've seen it all season long.
Tammy Pearman on the right side, looking, and that's broken up. Baumgardt pushes it back. Here's New York with it, off Pearman's touch. Makinen, a Finnish international, touched up to Makinen, and that's cleared back. New York gets it. Lalor, holding. Jen Lalor will play it back. Here's Ronnie Fair. Pushing it into the middle. Whalen from Fettig. New York trying to let the ball do some of the work. Let Washington chase. It's New York with the lead. Milbrett looks to bring it down. Here is Tiffany running at the defense and then putting the brakes on. Needed some help. Won by French, and Milbrett on the ground almost got possession for her team. Freedom will play it back. Skyler Little to the right. Milbrett. It appears Milbrett has dropped in a by G's role out wide. Ronnie Fair will hold. Back for Whelchel, former All-American at Duke. Fettig. Now Whalen. New York's keeping it simple. As long as they can maintain possession and avoid those costly giveaways they had in the first half, they could be all right. They say that they almost give it away again. But it's going to be Gao Hong's ball to put back in play for the New York Power. Fettig solid at the back. You could say the same with all the players back there. Yes, they miss Kristy Pierce, but overall a very experienced defensive core for New York. Throw-in coming up for Washington.
JP, apparently at halftime, both Siri Mullinix and Jim Gabarra were all over the referees for apparently not calling. We mentioned it on the replay, and we're going to take another look at it, but Milbrett was in the view and filling the channel, maybe obstructing Mullinix, is what Gabarra and Mullinix are saying on the goal that they scored. And we called it on the replay, if you remember. So we'll take another look at it and show the viewers. And apparently that's a bit of controversy that occurred at halftime.
He's going to throw in, but hold on. The wrong team taking it.
Come on, you guys, let's go here.
Milburn from the right side. She's not going to take it now. In fact, they've got a foul instead. So Mia Hamm's free kick for the Freedom. Strikes it well. It's coming back towards the near post. Everyone thought far post. And that ball came back near side. Goal kick for Gao Hong.
Well, this will give us an opportunity to take a look at the controversy at halftime. Ball. This is the goal that New York scored. Okay, the ball's in. Great ball by Whalen. Second opportunity, New York's getting off of the corner. And a nice feed by Janss. Now Espeseth is preparing her shot. She takes it. Okay, freeze it right there. Okay, now let me point out some stuff. Keep it frozen. This is what the controversy is. There's Milbrett right there. They're saying that she shielded Mullinix and obstructed Mullinix's view on that shot, which she was right in the perfect position. But that's what Mullinix and Gabarra were claiming at halftime, JP, was that she was shielded from that shot, or obstructed on that shot.
Espeseth with a lone goal so far, 51st minute. Intended for Makinen, and that's going to be broken up. I was wondering if they were thinking offside. We couldn't tell on that replay, but that would have been, I would have thought, passive offside, but obviously they're disagreeing with that. Here is Skyler Little. Mia Hamm bringing it back. That's broken up. Mia went down there again, but that time not on the shoulder. Here's Milbrett bringing it down. Letting the shot go, and a nice save by Mullinix, keeping Washington's hopes alive on an upset.
Again, we talked about it all first half. Milbrett needs to be up top, and New York, as Coach Pat Farmer has made that change. She's going to play up top as one of the two front runners. She's just so dangerous.
Yeah.
And I also think that 1-0 is not a comfortable lead for New York to feel like they've got this game in hand.
She's upset with herself. I mean, this lady has scored 13 goals in her last 13 games after 2 goals in her first 6.
I mean, you got to love her passion for finding the back of the net.
Gao Hong stays back in goal. French with a touch back to Makinen. Nice pull back for Makinen to stay in control. Fired up by Grubb, who's got a powerful shot, but it was not on target. French, the assist leader, trying to make some things happen for the Freedom. New York will push it up to Janss. Lalor to the back. There. Milbrett. And Tiffany Milbrett couldn't catch up to that. Quick throw in for Stoecker. Moore will play it across. Cut back. Here's Carrie Moore. Block from Fettig. Moore bringing it back down again. She's out of William and Mary. Got a little back. The clearance up by Stoecker. It's coming right back at her, but over. And not any kind of a threat. Mullinix will keep it alive. Mullinix and Gao-Hong, respective goalkeepers in the Olympic team.
Now again, we'll take a look at the controversy here on this corner kick, which resulted in New York's goal. Okay, freeze it right there. Freeze it there. Okay, wow. This is a great angle. Look at Milbrett in an offsides position as Gro's getting ready to take her shot. Go ahead, roll it. You know what? She is definitely in an offsides position.
Yeah,
There's no question about it from that angle.
Yeah, but I think Carrie Seitz would have said passive offside, and that's what Jim Gabar was saying, that she probably was in the way of the goalkeeper on that. So it's referee's judgment. I mean, no matter what.
JP, I'm going to see if your memory's better than mine. What? I don't know. But I won't tell you to call out the game. But remember, Milbrett scored a goal off of her hip early in the season in that same position. So
I think it was against Boston.
Yeah, might have been.
Here is Tiffany the other way. Nice cut back. Milbrett fires the shot, but it's high and wide. But you saw it all there in Tiffany Milbrett, except no goal resulted after that great move. 54th minute.
Milbrett's really on fire up top. The second half, she's playing that one of the two attacking positions, and she's creating a lot of troubles for this Washington defense. And here's one of those troubling shots, and that's our clear view presented by AccuView.
Mullinix will clear it away. Look at when Tiffany Milbrett scores goals, what they do. When she doesn't score, they've won just one game this year. She scored more goals than every one of her teammates combined. No one else can make that claim in the WUSA. And while it's great for Milbrett, I'm sure Pat Farmer would have liked more balanced scoring, someone else to step up.
Right, but if they get the result that they're looking for and they get into the playoffs and things continue to go well for them, hey, you know, it's worked out for them.
You're right. It's all about wins. Here is Washington with some room. Slotted through, but it deflects. Whelchel, look out. That one was almost handled badly inside the 18. Lalor on that far side. Now it's New York going out wide. Nielsen leaves it off. Intended for Milbrett, but that got away.
You know, it looked like that was developing into a nice play. Janss just needed to play Milbrett's speed on that one.
Lead pass up the middle towards Mia Hamm. Nice step around Whelchel. Mia's touch pass right side. Milburn couldn't get to it. Fair made a better challenge. We're going to get a corner kick, and it should be the first one for Washington.
Freedom corner kick.
Hands going over to take it.
No, don't fucking tell me that. You cost us that goal. Go ahead. That's good.
You can hear her say, "You cost us that goal." Hamm will cut it back. Here's French sending it across. Gao-Hong will reach and grab. '56th minute. New York over Washington. Winner or draw gets the New York Power into the playoffs. They lose, and San Diego has more than a fighting chance. They play Carolina tomorrow. Nielsen. Milbrett making the run. Outside left. Lalor leads it for Milbrett, but she couldn't quite get to it.
One of the reasons New York has done so well this season is because of the play of Gao-Hong in the nets. Look at her follow this corner kick, come across, make the save. She's done a great job for New York.
Washington will hold. Baumgardt. Touched over to the right side. Freedom keeping possession and giving it away. This one's knocked away and out of play. Throw-in coming up for Washington. The WUSA and TNT is brought to you by Clean and Clear. For clean, noticeably clear, beautiful skin. Clean and clear and under control. And by Soft and Dry. Here's Skylar Little. Knotted down. Lalor couldn't get to it. Milbrett can't, and she's tripped by Skylar Little. Free kick coming up. I think she maybe got carded for that. Kerry Seitz calling her over. Yes, indeed. She took away an advantage there from Milbrett. So the free kick is coming up for New York.
For 23, Skylar Little.
15! 15! Stacker, drop a step!
Fettig is ready. Pearman in the air. And that one will deflect out for a Siri Mullinix goal kick. We're going to see a substitution.
Substitution for the Washington Freedom.
Kerry Sarver is going to come in, making her first appearance. Had the feeling that Jim Guevara may do that today. He's got a few players on his bench that haven't played at all this year, and why not throw them in, give them a taste.
Well, and in a big game, too. I mean, this is a, obviously New York has a lot at stake here in this match, and to get Sarver in and give her some experience is a good idea. You got to figure, too, in the offseason, they're going to be trying to figure out what players they're going to hang on to and which ones they're going to trade or let go of. So, important to take a look at everybody.
And 23 getting ready to come on is Emily Stauffer out of Harvard, who will replace Jen Lalor. So Pat Farmer going to his bench there in the 59th minute.
Thanks, Anthony.
New York leading by a goal, and you've got the fresh legs of Emily Stauffer out there to help out.
Your attention, please, will the owner of a red...
Pearman to Milbrett. Left side, Nielsen. Nice lead. Here's Milbrett inside the 18. She cracked it near side, and Mullinix expected it, knocked it out for a corner. Third one for New York.
Here we go! Closing everything! Stay with your person! Top of the box, third 23! Who's 23? Top of the box! Seymour!
Goalkeeper sees all. She's handing out all the assignments. She sees what numbers are unmarked. That was Stauffer she was talking about. Fettig strikes it hard into the middle. It's intended for Stauffer. Played up. Espeseth in the air with Grubb, two physical players. Washington clears. Fair will run it down in the 60th minute. Whalen. Calm and cool. Whalen played it back to Whelchel rather than force that ball somewhere else.
I want to point out on that last substitution by DC, they've pulled another player up front. So Sarver is going to play up front with Ham and Milburn, Milburn I think was a player that, no, there she is, she's still down there. Three front, which makes sense because Coach Adair is going to try and go ahead and get more numbers on the attack and hopefully get a goal or two out of the second half. But on the flip side, on defense, now they have a three back. So they got one less defender back there, which will be interesting to see whether they can organize well enough to not let Milbrett free.
I mentioned that last week. They were the last team to switch from a 3-back to 4. That inexperience in the back cost them a lot of goals. But now they're looking for a win. It doesn't matter what they would lose by here. From the halfway line, played up. Sarver looks. Cleared away from her. Here's Pearman. New York with a 1-goal lead and a Espeseth goal. Pearman. Tiffany Milbrett. Back to Pearman, who'll try it long. And if you're going to play it long, go after someone like Stauffer, who does have the fresh legs and maybe could catch up to that ball. Siri Mullinix will put it back into play in the 62nd minute. Long ball over the halfway line. Fettig was looking for it. She got crunched. Play continues with Ham Mia lays it off well, left side, going inside of Baumgardt, cut off once by Whalen, but played over. Quick shot was deadened, allowing Gauhung to make the save. But it looked like Whelchel, who came back and made a solid defensive play, otherwise it might be 1-1.
Well, Ham sets that play up at the top of the box, finds French, and the player who almost netted it was Sarver. How about that? And first time on the field and potential for a goal. I know she'd love to have that one back and get another crack at it.
Played up by Pearman. Headed for Janss. Third back. Nielsen. Cleared by Milbrett. Milbrett. Looking. Playing it back. Up for Pearman. And even with Tammy Pearman's speed, she's not going to get that. We've got a goal kick coming up. And another substitution coming up as well for Washington. Louise Lieberman will also make her first appearance. She knows the Portuguese language, so she was the one helping to translate and teach English to Pretinha and Rosalie earlier in the year. Now she gets to play. Lieberman's out of UCLA, so a couple of new players today for Washington. Getting their first taste of WUSA action as Baumgardt leaves. Makinen will play it back right.
Okay, thank you.
And then Makinen going out wide. That's Milburn. No one close to her yet. The cross right at Gauhung. She may have rushed that a little bit too, but she had a lot of time.
JP, she had tons of time, and she's got to pull that out because 3 or 4 of her midfielders and forwards made the effort to get into the box and fill the needed run. She's got to pull that ball out. And with Gauhung, you know, you got to pull it probably a little bit farther out because she dominates that box so well.
Washington coming back, playing to the feet of Mullinix. And Siri just cleared that away, uncharacteristic for her. Very good with her feet. Let's go back to our athletic trivia question. Earlier we asked you who are the 3 players that have scored a hat-trick in the WUSA's inaugural season. Remember, earlier it was just one. It was Tiffany Milbrett against the Boston Breakers, but what a week it's been. Both Lu Ling and Charmaine Hooper. We watched Charmaine in action the other night at that game. Had a couple of gift goals, but hey, hat-trick's a hat-trick.
Yeah, but let me tell you, the thing that was so great, even though that Jen Mead kind of teed him up for her, and Jen Mead, for those who don't know, was in the goal for Bay Area. She kind of teed Charmaine Hooper up, but the thing was, Charmaine Hooper finished him. Yeah. That's what it's all about. When you're in those type of positions and you're a front runner, you got to be able to finish them.
This ball cleared away by Washington. Raven McDonald has just subbed in for Emily Janss. So again, New York gets a fresh player out there. Pushed out wide, Nielsen, and that's cleared away. Raven McDonald has only played in 5 games this year as a sub, so this is her 6th appearance. Not a lot of experience, but the legs are fresh, and in this extreme heat, it'll help. New York with a 1-goal lead, but not sitting back. Here's Fettig, and it'll go wide of the target. 66th minute. New York trying to draw the line here. Don't want to sit back and be caught on these counterattacks. Don't want to go too far forward. You got to have some strength to save your energy for this lead.
What's interesting, you pointed out, JP, that about the necessity to keep going after it if you're New York, and one thing that I have neglected to point out is that Espeseth and Fettig have swapped positions. So Fettig is now in the midfield, right there she is playmaking, which is, you know, a good move again by Farmer because she leads the team in assists. So they're putting her more in a position where she's going to be able to maybe tee one up for a nice assist, maybe to Milbrett or one of her other front runners making a run.
So much experience from girl Espeseth. Over 10 years as an international star at the back for Norway. Mullinix strikes. Stoecker. Cleared up. Headed for Sarver. And that's cleared away by New York. Throw in for Washington. Another throw in, but a little bit deeper now for the Freedom. Espeseth has the lone goal today. It was her first goal of the season. What a time for it. Inside the 18, deflected out by New York, but given away right down the middle. Shot was blocked. That was Lieberman coming through. Washington will settle. Skyler Little, right side. Milbrett. Bonnie Fair playing solid there. Not letting Milbrett get around her. Power clear. Stoecker knocked it away. Skylar Little. In the middle, it's Grubb. 68th minute. New York with a 1-goal lead. Win or a draw, they're in the playoffs. The turn inside. French blocked. And New York will take it over. And here they come. Raven McDonald up the left wing sideline. Here is Tiffany Milbrett holding. Trying to push it up, and Washington will take it over. We've got the head coach of the New York Power, Pat Farmer, down on the sidelines with us. Coach, your team was up 1-0 at halftime. What was your message to the team at that point?
I've told them that they had two things: to make sure that they were doing everything when it was their turn, that they're running when it's hot and filling in for other players, and then that they think a little more about shape here and that they're not trying to do more than they need to, so that they have some sense of covering for each other out of their system.
Coach, was Milbrett struggling a bit in the midfield? She looked a bit fatigued at the end of the second half or first half. We know she got her back up front now.
Yeah, our plan was for the first part of the first half to try and hide her back in the midfield and hope that she gets through. But to be honest, she's a pretty honest player, so she kept coming back as a midfielder instead of trying to cheat and go through. So we finally just put her up front, and we still may get her a little to the back here when Anka goes on. But she did a lot of work as a midfielder, and that really wasn't our intention.
Coach, you got to appreciate honesty, and we appreciate yours. Thanks.
Sure enough.
Back to the game for Pat Farmer, and back to the game for us. And we now know that Anka Ernest will be his next sub. Sometimes you find out things in a strange way you didn't intend to, but look who's coming in.
C23 will join the
Pretinha came on while we were chatting with Pat Farmer. Not a goal in their last 12 games. After a great start. Settled by McDonald. Here's Nielsen. Going long. Milbrett had to look behind her. A better ball, and she's flying down the middle. Still might get it. Oh, Milbrett won't give up on a ball. Great goal scorers don't give up on balls like that, because what's a half chance for someone else might become a complete chance for them.
You never know. And also not giving up on them, you might put some pressure on the defense. They might serve it out right to your trailing midfielder, who on a second opportunity can tee you up for a chance on net.
70th minute. New York Power with a lead. Trying to get into the playoffs.
Sorry, with that last substitution, Pretinha going in, they've moved Ham back into a playmaking role in the midfield, and Pretinha's up top.
That's where Mia started out the year and was comfortable at times, uncomfortable at other times. We're going to see another substitution. This time Jennifer O'Sullivan. So not Aaron, at least not yet, but maybe for Milbrett later. We'll see. Nielsen will leave. O'Sullivan on. Remember, you're allowed 4 subs in the WSA plus a goalkeeper, and Pat Farmer doesn't want to take any chances on players being fatigued here in the end. Milbrett fighting for this ball near wing. Fettig leads it. Raven McDonald chases. So does Skylar Little. Back to the feet of Mullinix. Pushed up to Pretinha. Here's Skylar Little holding on. Told you earlier we had Tiffany Milbrett mic during the game. We apologize for some audio issues last time we went to it, but we're going to try to go back and revisit her soon. Here's Washington coming back with a quick shot by Makinen. Was blocked by Whelchel. Outside right, Milbrett on the chase. Tackled away. Throw-in coming up for Washington. Makinen. Out again, another throw-in. New York will collect it. And that one appeared to be more of a miss kick than anything else. Last touch by Jennifer O'Sullivan. Another throw-in for the Washington Freedom. 72nd minute. The only goal by Espeseth. Milbrett. Nice cutback. Oh, should be 3 players there. Pushed over, settled. The turnaround was by Lieberman, but was blocked. Here's Washington pushing it up, looking inside, and that was between a couple of players. Makinen settles, touchback to Makinen. Anne holds, takes the low shot, just wide of Gao Hong. That could have been tied. Deflected, apparently by Gao. So a corner kick coming up, second one, that's all. We've not had many corners for either side today.
You know, and I really think the way you're going to beat Gao Hong is with a low shot to the far post. You could see athletically she tried to get that, she had that covered there, but she's tough to beat in the nets because of her athleticism.
Washington shows short corner, that's the way they play it. It's Mia. Tackled away by McDonald. Nice control. French with a cross, but there's nobody there at the back post. Makinen will come in late. Cleared away again. New York just playing it safe. Got another throw-in coming. And there's 2 balls in the field, so Terry Sykes stops play. And here we go. Lieberman. A lot of room, a lot of time. Lets it go from distance. And Gao Hong, I think, scared every New York Power fan that was watching. It's a wild shot, but you know, could have made it. Here's another edition of Turf Talk. We'll see what Tiffany Milbrett had to say moments ago. She's really out of the shadows this year. She's become the leader of this team, and a lot of people are saying she is right now the #1 player in the world, and you could certainly make a case for that now. Absolutely. You know what's neat is that you know, when you talk to her, she tries to deflect all the credit to her teammates, a lot like Mia Hamm does. But you know, she just, when she goes out, what she says is she just wants to give her best effort. And I'll tell you what, you can take that in any element of your life. I'm not talking about just on the field, but try and give it your best effort, and things are going to happen for you in a positive manner. So it's nice to see that wholesome attitude by her, and she just gives it her best. Milbrett trying to give it her best on the right side, cut it inside, lost it. McDonald came back to win it. The fair clearance. Milbrett knocked it down. Pushed back up towards Milbrett. Look at the effort there. On a ball that Gloves slowed down on, Milbrett came after it. I think she doesn't want to get to the playoffs. She's giving it everything. The other thing that you heard in the Turf Talk there was that she's got a nice blend. She's really developed into a great leader. She's got a situation where she's trying to be positive. She's critiquing, but in a positive manner, so that her teammates respect her and don't feel like that she's just kind of getting down on them. So she makes a point in a positive manner, and that's tough to do, to strike that balance where you're demanding out of your teammates, but you do it in a way that they respect you. Yes, go! McDonald will give it the chase. Got a piece, not all. Lieberman played it up. She'll have to give it the chase back, but New York may win this ball. Fettig didn't have enough to get to it. Skylar Little clears. 75 minutes gone. New York chasing back. They're going to give the ball to Washington on the foul. Free kick freedom. Hamm will come over to take it. Well, you got to figure that she's going to take her time. Well, maybe not. Header right at Gao Hong. It was there, though. Maybe not, right? It was there. Mia found the target. We've seen her take some free kicks real quick, and the reason for that is you want to try and catch the defense in a position where they're not ready. And we'll take a look at this one. This was a quick free kick. I thought she was going to wait for Milbrett to get in the box for her head, but instead, it looks like a nice opportunity by Sarver with a great header, making a nice run into the box. But Gao Hong held her line, and she also had 2 defenders on the post, so it looked like they had it covered well. Gao Hong, 4 saves, among the save leaders in the WUSA. Cuts back and third. A crunching play there with Pretinha down. So Espeseth, a very physical player, also has the lone goal of this game. And Pretinha's up and okay. And here she comes. Lets it fly. Pretinha nearly ended that goalless streak. 12 games without a goal. She was going up her corner. First goal in WUSA history. How about first penalty kick and first game-winning goal? So should be maybe our athletic trivia question next year. Could have a few questions for her. But boy, if Pretinha and Rosalie had done what Katya and Cece had done for Bay Area, you're talking Washington closer to first place than closer to last. Free kick coming up for the Freedom.
And it's a great point, and that's one of the things that has hurt the Freedom, is that they haven't had the production out of their players that they were really relying on. You mentioned them, JP. Rosalie and Pretinha were supposed to be two of their big stars, and early on, Pretinha had a great season. She was very productive and scoring a number of goals, but she just seems to have slid off a bit.
Here's Pearman, 78th minute. New York looking for a killer goal. Here's Milbrett on the feed from Pearman. Milbrett shot, goal! Tiffany Milbrett may have pushed New York right into the playoffs with that goal. If one wasn't enough, two should be.
Boy, and we knew if New York put her up front and just let her play her game, she was going to be dangerous, and DC has had trouble stopping her. And we'll take a look at what happened here. Pearman's drawing the defense the other way, and a beautiful ball through. The question is whether she's offside. It's tough to tell from the angle, but it looked like it's questionable. We've got to leave that up to the referee's assistant. But look at this beautiful touch towards goal. Mullinix commits, and she just finishes it. We'll take another look here from behind the goal. Look at her. She's got her head up. She's looking to see where Mullinix is, and she just finishes it as her defensive pressure comes on her. And that's our clear view presented by AccuView. And there is a happy Tiffany Milbrett.
6 goals in the last 6 games. How about 14 goals in her last 14 games?
Oh.
She's okay. Yeah, maybe. I thought when we saw it live, she was okay. Let's take another look. Wow. She could have been a step off. Could have been. Right sideline. Don't know whether there was much of a protest down there from Washington or not. We're watching Milbrett in the celebration. Tiffany Milbrett is added, though, to her goal-scoring lead. What a year for her. 16 goals. So now, all New York needed was a draw. Washington would need 3 goals to give San Diego any hope of getting into the playoffs. 3 goals in about 10 minutes. The right side, here's Makinen. Milburn pushing it back. Oh, a lot of jersey tugging there. The call is on Lieberman in the 80th minute. A goal score extraordinaire. In the 78th minute, the assist went to Tammy Pearman. And now Anka Arenas is going to be coming into the game for Gro Espeseth. So one Norwegian will replace another. They play totally different positions. So New York can now only sub a goalkeeper. That is the 4th substitution that they have made. Arenas with 3 goals in the first 3 games. She had some back problems earlier this year. We've not really seen the true Anka Arenas. She is a gifted scorer. Here is Washington with it. Pretinha attacking the defense. Knocked it through to Sarver. I think she stepped over that ball to run after it, but didn't quite catch up.
How about Sarah Whalen's speed covering that back post?
Mia takes it in. It deflects up. Turned up by O'Sullivan. Scott Little will play it back. Washington moving it up. Here's Lieberman. Cuts back the other way. Long ball, Pretinha. Inside the 18, the run by Sarver. Cleared away, not out of danger yet. Makinen. Arenas comes back for it. 81 minutes gone. New York 9 minutes away from a playoff spot. Still with a chance to finish 3rd, depending on what Philadelphia does tomorrow at Boston. Raven McDonald playing it up. Arenas. Oh, Pearman's wide open. Pearman had to wait for that ball. She'll cut inside. Pearman let a weak shot go, but had Arenas found Pearman with a lead ball, look out. The WUSA and TNT is being brought to you by Aeromax, the official laundry detergent of the WUSA and active women everywhere, and by AccuView brand contact lenses, advancing the science of sight.
Jiffy, when we heard from, when we heard from Pat Farmer. Oh, wait, what do we have going on down here?
Got a Washington player down. Maybe cramping. I didn't see what had happened. It's Carrie Moore. I think she may be dehydrated based on that signal from Carrie's sights, but we'll see. Cramping, perhaps. Tough day. We showed you the temperatures early on. A stifling day in Annapolis. So Moore being tended to on the field. We're in the 83rd minute now. New York leading Washington 2-0. Smelling the playoffs right now, New York.
Yeah, you're coming.
Tiffany Milbrett walking to get a bit of a breather. From the 80th minute on, this team has really struggled, but today doesn't seem to be, Wendy, one of those days. But that's one of their problems this year.
Well, of course, I mean, I still think there's a lot of time left. You know, whether DC can pull out a couple goals or even 3 goals to make the difference is that would be a tough feat with 7.5 minutes left. But the curiosity to me is, why do you take Espeseth off the field? She's a leader. She's got to be on the field. Whether she's, we don't know whether she's hurt, but just to have her leadership qualities on the field, I mean, making a sub that late in the game, maybe that's why they're giving up those goals.
Unless she's fatigued. Tiffany Milbrett, it's all about respect.
All along, all I've wanted to do was be able to have the opportunity and the chance to be able to show people what I can do. And, I just hope day in and day out I just give my best and make sure that, the New York Power is doing well. And hopefully we're still ending up in the win column.
You read her lips before. She kept saying, focus, focus. April Heinrichs knows all about Tiffany Milbrett, head coach of the US national team. Hello, April. How's it going down there? I know she can't hear us, but there you go. April looking at players that she knows can play, like a Tiffany Milbrett, but I'm sure as she scouts the WUSA, looking for other players that she didn't know a whole lot about until this season started. She has seen a lot of games. Grubb will play it over. Carrie Moore, who just came back in after a short stint on the sideline. 85th minute. Behind Ham with that pass. Here's Milbrett. McDonald will play it back. Oh, nice couple of cuts. Milbrett all the way back. Whalen. Pearman checking back for it. Nice effort today from Tammy Pearman. Some strong runs from her today, and the assist on that last goal, which really put it out of reach as far as Washington was concerned. And we're in the 85th minute now. Temperatures rising as we speak, and that's not helping the players out there on the field. Tough to even watch a game from the stands. It's that hot out there.
When we stopped play because of the DC injury, I was starting to make a point about when we had Pat Farmer on headsets. He was saying that he was maybe going to try and pull Milbrett back into the midfield a little bit. That's the role she's in right now. She's going to try and playmake and help keep DC's midfield, including Mia Hamm, from playmaking. So she's settled back into sort of fill the role of Espeseth, who did sub out, which I was critiquing that because she's such a great leader. You want to keep a player like that on the field in the last few minutes of the game.
Up the left sideline, McDonald got around, Skylar Little. Well, Little already had one yellow card. If she got one there, which she could have, it was game over for Skylar Little. And it still might be because Carrie Seitz is calling her over. She's out. She's out. So 2 yellows equals the red, and Skylar Little's day is done.
In the 86th minute.
Well, there's no question she deserved the card. Look at Raven McDonald's great touch, and then she gets her body in behind Little, and there's no question she was just grabbing her jersey. But look at McDonald's retaliation. I think she got lucky. She didn't end up with the card.
87th minute. New York with a 2-goal lead, and now an extra player on the field. Milbrett holding, pushing it back. Here's Emily Stauffer, scooping up for Milbrett, who somehow has found a reserve gas tank there. Now she's brought down off that tackle, but it was all ball first, and then Milbrett went over.
No, Milbrett's trying to call for a PK, but she's not going to get one.
Aronis to Raven McDonald. 87th minute. Milbrett Going long, Pretinha with a step behind the defender. The ball went out too far wide. It allows Fair to catch up, but Pretinha crosses. Flicked over. Makinen saves it for the freedom. Inside, the header by Milbrett wide. 88th minute. New York with a 2-goal lead. The 2001 Goodwill Games are coming your way from Brisbane, Australia, airing August the 28th through September the 9th. Marion Jones hoping to maybe set some more records there at the 2001 edition of the Goodwill Games.
Hi, friends.
Last game of the regular season for these two teams. For Washington, think about next year. For New York, think about who they're going to play next week, either Bay Area or Atlanta, but it will be a road game for New York no matter what. Whalen leaves it off, and that one goes out. So for New York, if they play Bay Area's got the edge there against Atlanta. Well, Atlanta also leads, but I remember that scoreless draw earlier in the season. I think Pat Pearman, New York just want to get in. This one goes wide of the target. If New York finishes in 4th, they would play Atlanta as Team 1 plays Team 4. If they finish in 3rd, they would be taking on the Cyber Rays.
JP, I agree with you. Coach Farmer may have a preference one way or another, but at this point, when you get down to the playoffs and the semis, you got to beat everybody in order to win it. So you can't really, try and have the perfect matchup. Everybody's going to be excellent at that point.
Touchdown. Here's Washington, 89th minute. Freedom like they have all year, giving it their very best right up until the end, and even Mia Hamm, sore shoulder and all, could have begged off, but is playing the full 90. Here's Aranis. Pearman cuts it back. The long ball, too long from O'Sullivan, but it won't matter as it kills some more time, and we're in the 90th minute. Well, after overcoming a case of the jitters, it seemed, early on, New York settled down. No doubt that first goal by Espeseth helped turn the tide right before halftime.
And I think mentally it was tough for DC as well after that, because they were definitely critiquing the referees at halftime, and you heard with some of the sound that we heard, both Mullinix and Hamm getting on the referees during the second half. And, mentally that might have taken it out of them a bit too, feeling like they gave up a goal, but maybe it was a goal that should have been called back by the referee.
Aranis in the touchback. How were you as a player? Did you used to get upset at referees?
Guys, we got 3.
Let things go?
I wasn't a screamer at the referees, but if I'm a captain out there and I have to make a point,
you're
going to go over and make your point. But I also was not a player who drew a lot of yellow cards, so I think that probably answers it. Not one to
perfectly.
Yeah, not one to pick up yellows because of dissent.
Here is Washington. We are in stoppage time. We'll see how much Kerry Seitz puts on, but it won't matter. It's New York's day in Annapolis. They have a 2-goal lead, and all they needed was a draw to advance to the playoffs. Washington will play it over to the right. Moore. Oh, Aranis went in hard after that ball. Pushed upfield now by the Freedom. French will hold. Almost a half minute gone in stoppage time. New York winning it back. Clearing it. Aranis, nice flick. That kills some more time. She knew there was no one up there, but it's better in the other end. Mullinix moving it over. Pushed up by French. 2 players after for New York, including Stauffer, but Makinen takes it over. Plays it out wide. Long ball played up. Toward goal. Not a down. They almost caught Gauhong the wrong way. And this one is going to go out for a throw-in. Beyond a minute gone in stoppage time. Moore. And that's just off the side of her foot. Out of play. Gauhong will be able to put it back into play for New York. Experienced Gauhong had the best goals against average in World Cup '99. Didn't get the gold medal, but had the best numbers.
No. Move on.
Gauhong's basically saying, just let it go. Send it deep. They're looking for Aranis. Washington will move it up the wing. Knocked away. Last touch by Milbrett. Throw in for the freedom. Harry Seitz checking out the watch. We didn't see any signal. It might be just a couple of minutes. Just over the 2-minute mark here. Milbrett. Given away by McDonald. Here's Grubb. French going long. Intended for Milburn. Got a piece of that ball. And a piece of fair, too.
You got to give it to DC. They're continuing to try and attack. They're not falling over and just giving this win to New York. They're going to go ahead and battle all the way through added time.
Jim Jabbar said he was heartbroken because of the effort his team gave him this year, but it wasn't to be. Strange year for Washington. At times they look like one of the better attacking sides in the league. So did Boston, but neither team in the playoffs. But New York is, as this one's over. The New York Power come away with a 2-0 win. Milbrett getting that second goal. Espeseth got the first. The Power are going to the playoffs.
Tuesday nights at 9, see the story of a woman who started out a cop and became something more.
What are you? Justice.
Witchblade. Tuesday nights at 9 on TNT. This week.
Can I use the bathroom? No bathroom. No bathroom. What do you use? Bathrooms for customers only. I am a customer. I was just here 10 minutes ago. How was your last visit? 10 cents. Thanks. 3 minutes.
X Games begins August 18th on ABC.
Now we go back to the Touch a Truck Marathon to see who